Oh, wow, wow, wow. Wow, my camera is super crooked. I haven't recorded a YouTube video and now I don't know how to record YouTube videos anymore. I feel that's it's an angle. I need coffee. I'm back. I'm back. Miro is back. And planned chores are waiting. I took a bit of a break. I went to Germany for about a week, and that has happened a week-ish ago. And I actually did not plan to take a break from YouTube. I was recording videos to upload, but then I messed up and I wasn't recording the sound on those videos. I was very smart about it. And you probably will never see them. I think like there is some sound, but a lot of the good sound is missing. So that's the story about that. I failed essentially, and that's why you have not seen any videos while I was gone, but you get to see this now. My planned chores, of course, are waiting for me. Plants have not repotted themselves. They have not propagated themselves, which I think is very rude, and they also have not watered themselves. So I really don't know what were they thinking. I do see they have collected a lot of dust, this El Chaco red next to me, which is becoming obscenely huge, and we need to shower it. You know, I've been wanting to shower this plant and treat it for mites. It does have a bit of mites. I've been wanting to do that for several months, and we just didn't get to it. So we need to do that pretty quickly here. Okay, it's light plant chores day. We're not stuffing ourselves with plant chores, which is, I'm sorry, that sounds terrible. We're not doing that. We are just intermittent fasting plant chores. That's what we're doing. We are having a small window to do some plant chores, and we will do that. I think I will repot a couple of plants, pot some cuttings, and essentially show you a couple of plants that I got in Germany/Switzerland from my friend. Actually, they are from Switzerland. I got them from my friend Alex. So yeah, let's begin. What are we waiting for? Who is organizing this? First plant that I got is very flimsy in this pot. It is this orchid. It's a jewel orchid. It said it is a Macotis. I'm not really sure that's the true ID. It is very beautiful. Alex got this for me. It's from a nursery. I think it said like Tiger Eye or something like that on it. And it's in pure peat, which we will remove. And I already see a couple of new potential shoots starting. I used to have jewel orchids. I used to have Ludicea. I think several forms of Ludicea actually. Whatever happened to them? I think they died. Anyways, it was probably due to underwatering. My Ludicea discolor grew really, really well, actually. It was a pretty big plant, if you remember. It was in a big, shallow, and wide pot. They do require a bit of water and, you know, not the watering type. But we will repot this plant, and I prepared pots. I prepared a larger pot. I prepared this one, and it does not necessarily need a larger pot, but I just wanted to make sure that it has a larger pot so I can, if I go away for a week, nothing bad will happen to it because small pots can quickly dry out and because I will be putting it in cocoa peat and perlite. But then this pot is not so different at all than this one. So I actually might put it just in this self-watering pot and then I really am without worries. I know it's gonna look over-potted for a bit there, but I did not ask you to tell me anything about that. Thank you very much. Another thing with these jewel orchids, they do make a shallow root system, but what is beneficial for them is to do have like a wider and shallow pot. They do like to spread out. We do not have such pots at the moment, so I think what I will do is I'll do like a generous layer of leca, cocoa peat and perlite, and then some moss on top. It will be a sandwich. What I don't like about jewel orchids is how flimsy they are. Their stems can be a bit easy to snap. So let's try not to snap, because if you snap, I will snap too, girl. I will snap too at you. This is what we're working with here. I will just gently remove that. So the root system, as expected, is not super big. I'm glad to see there is no stem rot. I don't know what this is. It's not even regular peat. It doesn't look like regular peat, at least to me. Oh, is there something moving? No, I'm just imagining, okay. It has been a week since I got it, so I think it's fine to repot. I also used to have a lot of orchids and I used to repot them pretty much as soon as I get them, even when they were in bloom, and they did really well because the mixes that they put orchids in are, I mean, just like Hoyas, not very suitable for my environment at all. And I'd much rather lose a flower than lose the plant. But this one does not have a flower, and in this case, I would much rather it develop a nice root system than rot away. I know that some Macotis can be a bit tricky to grow, so I will put this on the bottom of my tent, and I feel that's, you know, a shady spot because they don't want a lot of sun, I find. Okay, so not a massive root system on this one, which is fine. This is the cocoa peat and perlite mixture that I will be using. It's very light. I will not compress anything, so I think we will be fine with a larger pot. I will not fill in the reservoir right away. I will just lightly water on top. I will start using the reservoir in a couple of weeks. You know, I think I want to do a bit of cocoa chips here, just to have a barrier so peat doesn't fall through to leca. I did a slight layer of cocoa chips. Don't do what I do. I don't know what I'm doing. This is totally an experiment, and it might be completely unnecessary, but now I feel we can put in cocoa peat and perlite. Why is my hair on my lips? Go away. So we're gonna do some cocoa peat, and of course this is already too high because I think I want it to sit like this, and I still need a layer of moss. Something like this. Maybe I move it more towards one side of the pot. It will sort of branch out here. So let's just move her to one side so we allow for the other parts to grow. I did not press down too much on cocoa peat, especially because the stem is sensitive. And now what I will do is I will put a bit of moss on the top to keep the moisture around. This is sorta what that looks like. Might just get it out a bit more. So we'll see how it will do. I'll, again, water very, very lightly and not put any water in the reservoir, and I will put it on the bottom of my tent and find the ID for this plant, and I will let you know how she does. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next plant. We have some Hoyas. Coffee is so good. I'm propagating some Hoyas from Alex in the baggies. I got them as cuttings, and I put them in pure pumice. I actually do have a free propagation box, but I don't have is another Hoya or other Hoyas that I would like to propagate. So I am doing it in the baggies. It's easier to keep the high humidity. If you put like 3 plants in the propagation box, that's very big. It's not going to be so easy. The new leaves don't look so great, which was to be expected. They're going to look a bit pale. They're probably going to fall off, which is fine. I don't see any roots starting, and this Hoya occultata has definitely lost a bit of succulency in the leaves, which I'm not a great fan of. It's been a week only. What we need to do is provide higher humidity, and then she will sort of recover there. I have seen this with thin leaf Hoyas. It happened with my Hoya Lucky. I might just propagate her in moss. This moss, not super moist, and you can see it's very fluffy, so I'm just gonna stick it in there, and I will water this very lightly and put it back in the bag. It's a very beautiful cutting, but unfortunately lost a bit of the succulency there. We're gonna work on it. Not everything starts off perfectly. A lot of my plants have not started out perfectly, and they, you know, eventually grew perfectly. And some started out great and they didn't grow well. Unhinged. Now we have species Acha, one of the many clones. It's also in pure pumice. It's looking very nice there. This one I see it's rooting, so we can leave that as is. And we have what I think is rundumensis. I'm now confusing ranoensis and rundumensis because I know he wanted to get one of those two and he got the wrong one, so he got the other one. So I think this is rundumensis. But that's not what I need to do anything with. What I need to do is I have some plants here, some Hoyas in the glasses. I got this Hoya latifolia ages ago as Hoya species Sarawak, but it is a latifolia and it's growing. So I'm going to repot it. It has a nice root system. I did not root this, it was sent to me rooted. You know what? I think, let's be realistic, this is probably going to need this pot because it's a big leaved Hoya. So let's just stick it in there. So my trip to Germany was very nice. I enjoyed your country. To the Germans watching, thank you very much for accepting me in your country for a visit. And I have been also to Switzerland, which is also another very nice country. Thank you again, Swiss, for inviting me. No one invited me, I just came by myself. I'm hoping to come again very soon. I'm hoping to come again. I do have sort of like a vlog that I'm working on. And when I say I'm working on it, I mean I've transferred the files to my computer and I've not done anything since. And that might come out on Sunday. Question mark, we'll see. I think it's going to be one of the worst vlogs because I was so embarrassed to record. But I think it might be fun. I ventured into places such as forests and waterfalls and botanical gardens. It's quite dangerous, actually, in the sense that it was not at all. This is sort of repotted. I'm just gonna call it repotted. I'm still getting used to the cocoa chips. This is buffered cocoa chips. Some people have asked. I do buffer cocoa chips myself. If you are getting cocoa peat or cocoa chips, cocoa peat you can buy buffered. I think you can probably buy cocoa chips buffered. I cannot. So I buffered myself. And by that, you need to add calcium and magnesium. I'm not gonna explain the buffering process. I might make a video on it. I might write it in the description. It's pretty easy. It is annoying that this is not prepared. I have thoughts on that, but I do have thoughts on everything. I don't understand why it's not prepared. But I do have another latifolia. This one I got as macrophylla, and it was sold as macrophylla from Look River or something like that. I will write the exact name. Hasn't grown the best. It's grown somewhat, but you know, a lot to be desired for here. So I'm just gonna put her also in this bigger pot. I think I just will need to do a lot of these plant chores videos. I'm so sorry. You're gonna see a lot of me on the floor. Ugh, I wish this was a one cutting. See, I don't like that, but it is what it is. This is like the worst repotting ever on the internet in the history of the YouTubes. Okay. It looks awful, I know. I'm gonna put a trellis in there. Right now, I just wanna get it in there and be done with it because it's been sitting for a while. I have some other Hoyas here that need to be potted, but I'm just gonna put this back and ignore it. Best way to deal with something. All of these need to be potted, which I will do in a future video. It's like so many cuttings. I am searching for, this is also something that needs to be potted. Not today, because we are not mentally prepared. What are we mentally prepared for is a plant that is here. Oh, Scheiße. Ugh. That's not looking good. Oh no. Crisis. We have a crisis. In the video that you will not see because I did not record the sound, I discovered that, first of all, I still hate pon, but I discovered that some of my Hoyas that I repotted in pon, from smaller pot to larger pot, the roots died back. This is something that I've experienced a lot, and one of those is Hoya yuannensis, and now I see that not only has it died back, but it's also dying in propagation, so that's excellent. Yeah, so this cutting is gone. Not all of the cuttings are gone, but I'm rerouting this plant. It's not looking great. This is from my friend Farah. I will type the name. I forgot, can't remember it now, but I took it out of the propagation box pretty quickly and it did not root properly, so I have to reroute it. I don't know, maybe I can try to pot it again. The issue is the stem was too close. There was like a short stem and it didn't sit properly in the pot, and one of the leaves I actually lost, but you know, it grew 2 leaves sorta. Now it's gonna be easier to pot and potentially pin her down. What I wanted to pot is this Hoya that I got. I don't know the ID. It arrived to me as Hoya species Vietnam number 6. And I do believe this is some sort of a carnosa or something related to carnosa. It has rooted in several places. I could pot it as one cutting, but I am currently thinking to chop that cutting into 2. You can see here it has a lot of roots. So I can just select a part, maybe right here. Oh, okay. So, you know, that's enough for it to root well. I'm gonna just let that sit for a moment, and then this is the second cutting. I think we have some other ones here that I need to look for. What I am searching for is another carnosa cutting that I had that almost rotted and then it didn't. I managed to save it, and now I cannot locate the cutting. Oh, here it is. I have Hoya imbricata there too. Oh no, why is it alive? I hate Hoya imbricata. Why did I save it? I'm sorry for imbricata lovers, but I really don't align. This rotted all the way to the node, which was my concern. You can see. It made it. I will pot her and hope for the best. And then I have a tiny lacunosa from Basie here that also, for some reason, rotted, but she also rooted. I don't know how to pot this at all, so I might just leave her in the bag to grow. We are also out of leca, so all the signs tell me that this should be the end. Oh wait, I'm definitely putting way more in than I can, because this needs to go in deeper. Oh, we broke off one root. Excellent. When you root in perlite, I find the roots to be super fragile. Much easier to break. So be careful. Don't be like me. This is just gonna go here. What I was starting to say is I adore when I have multiple vines, you know, when I have a couple of cuttings in one pot. What I don't adore is potting them together. I find that to be difficult. They look like a mess for a while until they start to grow in. It's like when you're growing your hair out. It looks, you have the weird phase. And no one wants to see it in the weird phase. I feel like it's much easier when you have one cutting. Though, one cutting can also be in the weird phase. And I gotta tell you another thing, I have no idea where all of these chores are gonna go. My plan was to have like all the carnosas and carnosa relatives on top of my rotstas. That plan has failed because we have filled out that top of the rotsta. So if someone would like to buy me a castle, I'll accept it. Thank you. Think about it. I do think I'm worthy of a castle, and it will be full of Hoyas, and then I can rename my channel to Hoya Castle. Miro's Hoya Castle. Really? Buy me a property. Would not say no to it. I'm kidding, I would. I love saying no to things, unless they don't benefit me. If they don't benefit me, I love saying yes to it. But if they're gonna benefit me, I love saying no. This was initially supposed to go into this pot and just, you know, we let it grow in, but because the situation was a bit difficult, I think we are going to put it in a trial pot, something small like this, but not this one because, I don't know, that orchid was in there. It should be properly washed. I'm going to just end the video here and continue with my plant chores for a bit, but I'm not gonna do too much today. I shall be waiting to do more of them on camera. Ow. So just a brief check-in. We'll see you soon, potentially with the vlog, potentially not, I don't know. But definitely I will see you with many more plant chores because we had the entire summer and we spent it on Hoya Summer Camp. Now we get to spend the entire fall doing many plant chores and they are plentiful. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful the rest of the week until we meet again. Sounds so romantic, until we meet again. Don't forget me. I could sing that. I wish there wasn't copyright on YouTube so I could sing, but also probably it's good that there is copyright so I don't, because you would be getting a lot of singing here, which shouldn't be done. Go. Time to go. I have to finish my coffee and clean this up. Bye! I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 2 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Amber Clear, Anne Margaret Moen, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, and C. Ashley Hoyas, Beth Gibson, Betsy, Bougie Panda, Catherine Molina, Daniela, Danube Daniels, Daria Kaminska, Deanne Sikorsky, Dipanjali Rao, Farah, Gina K, Gina Geise, Go Green Tropical, Heather Uppingham, Hoji Scott, Jamie Arsenault, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chia, Yovan Denot, Kara, Catherine P, Casey Gross, Kelly Cook, Kelso, Kiwi Mochi, Christine Ehrlich, The Plan de Steph, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Marcelina Novosansky, Maria West, Mars B, Martina, Alif Day, Marty Miller, Mary Rose, Melissa Walker, Michael Curley, Michelle Heron, Nicole Ferranti, Moa Edmond, Neely Yang, Niha Basu, Neely Spicer, Nicole Moreau, Nicole and Kilib of Schlieve Tropicals, Nina Nguyen, Nita Macy, PJ, Plant Druid, Planting with Nat, Rachel Peterson, Robin L. Jennings, Robin Roos, Saloma Dahl, Sandra Cornelius, Sherry Kumar, Stephanie H2O, Sybil Williams, Tanya Tessa Martins, The One True Kyle, Tristan Thomas, Tia B, TJWO, Trista Bailey, Wendy Foreman, Wendy Rossman, Xenia Green, Youth of the Walamut, and Zlokov Nuponi. Also, a big thank you to my $3 patrons, Andy H, Angelina Farnan, Anna K, Brenda Little, Colleen Coyle, Levi, Constance, Kilone, Claudia L, Erin Keenan, Catherine Parsons, Lindsay Ann, Lisa Helling, Nella, Nerdy Kathy, Plantolenia Ringlov, and Tang Watanasria Cool. And a thank you to my $1 patrons, Alice Borland, Carrie, Christina Greengrass, Couture Helvetica, Edith W, Amelia Bronson, Joanna Pearson, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez, Lauren M, Lori Ann Subramanian, Lisbon Fernandez, and Olivia Chinmuller.